What's up guys, today we are going to take a look at some PvM for ED3 for Taraket and the Ambassador to see if we can help Chax get any sort of improvement out of these two bosses, as he did ask me if I could take a look and see if I could add anything that maybe he was missing, as he does say he struggles a little bit with the bosses. Like he's not struggling, like he's good at PvM, Chax, so it's fine. But you know what, I thought it could be interesting. This gives a different sort of visual look at the difference between like someone who is doing high-end PvM and anything you may be missing, and then also in comparison to someone who is maybe starting PvM, you can probably take a look at this as well and go, oh well, I'm not doing this stuff either, so I'll add this stuff in now. Either way, Chax only has around about 9 solos at ED3, so it is not like he's got mega experience here. So if you notice a few things, then that will be why. But let's take a look at this and see if we can add anything to help him along his way, and then hopefully you guys can learn something too. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have loads to learn too, but I've done a lot of ED3, so it kind of helps a little bit in situations like this. Okay, so the first box that we're going to look at is going to be his Taraket. He wants me to take a look at Taraket, and then the Ambassador. The other Wyvern's fine, doesn't need it. Goal is just to see if there's anything we can do to help you increase your DPS. So we're going to take a look at your UI and stuff and what's been set up, like inventory-wise, your preset. I like that your UI is pretty much identical to mine, of course. Makes this nice and easy for me. I wonder where you got that inspiration from, but it's great to see because I can see what's going on nice and easy. So we've got an Essence of Finality with an Eldritch Crossbow and an Essence of Finality with a dart bow. I know that because I PvM with Chax quite a bit. So he's got an ECB here. He's still brought his Salve Amulet, which I assume that means he can use that ECB and then swap, and the ECB spec will stay. So that's good. And then he does have Hydrix Bolts and Ruby Bolts, which is good as well. And then he's got his Weapon Poison, and his inventory set up fine. The only thing I would say you could probably change is your Sailfish to Blue Blubbers, and then you can keep eating those, chomping through those, and not losing adrenaline, because obviously adrenaline is damage. So Chax, make the change to Blubbers. You can do this. You don't need the Sailfish. That being said, you don't have Smoke Cloud, which is something we talk about quite a bit. Like if you want faster kill times, use Smoke Cloud, man. It's so good. One rune pouch, you could definitely just drop out one fish and bring a rune pouch, or you probably don't need like all of the necklaces, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you could, the Salmon was good. Drop out one Sailfish, bring a rune pouch with the Smoke Clouds stuff in it, and then you can apply Smoke Cloud before you start. You don't need to worry about Ingenuity Humans for anything else because you're using range anyway. And so yeah, you've got your tier 99 cursors, you have Elder Overloads, and you're using Revolution. Yeah, I know you mostly full manual anyway. I think it's just there for like a little catch you up, right? In case you're doing something else. Got a Undead Slayer Sigil, so we'll keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much it for the thing. You've got Ripper Demon with scrolls as well, so that's important to note, because you've got the Spiritual Prayer Potions, and I want to see if you're downing those, which I can see is not keybound, so you want to keybound those, man, so you can down them, because I guarantee you're going to be too busy to be clicking through them, unless when your prayers drops, and that's probably the only time you're going to use it. So you're going to start off with Dead Shock. You didn't use a Death Swift at the start. I want to see if you can skip the portal, because you should be able to skip the portal. Holy crap, you're close anyway, if not. Okay, so you didn't sigil. Okay. I wonder why you didn't sigil. You could definitely sigil here, because in a solo you can sigil twice. At the beginning and then towards the end as well, or for the second bloat. You're going to push. Okay, so he's come over to the right. For anyone who doesn't know what he's doing here, if you move up to the right hand side, this is actually really good for range, but I kind of have a different suggestion. We'll see on what you can do here, but you can push Taraket over one tile to the left, right, and it'll force spawn the big bloat rather than the little bloat, and the big one you can deal with quicker. It won't stack with portals and stuff, so this can be quite useful to do. But Chax, if you can skip this first portal by using your sigil here, because that would have been enough. Just sigil alone would have pushed you over. You have the damage for it. You literally, yeah, it's spawn. You don't need to worry about that. But if you use your sigil and skip this, he'll fly over here and spawn this one first. You kill that one off, then you go back to Taraket, and then you phase him. You're going to get a portal as soon as he's back, because you've skipped the portal here. Once he's spawned this and come back, you're going to get a portal, then deal with that. And then when he's going to fly over here, your sigil will be back, right? So when you already phase him quicker, and then when he comes over to the second bloat, you can use the sigil on the bloat. So the big bloat, let's see how you deal with that actually. Just gonna fly off, he's spawning it here. So you've just ECB spec'd, I think. No, ECB specs there, and then you are going to change the Salve Amulet, which is good, and he's probably going to die pretty quick, but he could be dead already. You can almost insta-kill him, 100%. You can almost insta-kill him. So what you could do is use the sigil on him as well, and it will probably melt him pretty quick. So what I'll suggest you do is not push him to the left, kill that normal blow off normally, but use your sigil to phase Taraket and skip the portal, and then phase him off to the left afterwards and use your sigil on that blow. He will just melt. Like, honestly, if you use sigil ECB spec and whatever you just did then, plus the sigil damage, it'll be gone in no time. I've noticed that you've not used your actual spiritual prayer potions yet. Your prayer is dropping low, so there you go. You've clicked it and you've used it now, but you could definitely be drinking those as damage, man. Every time you drink one of those, your Ripper's going to throw off another spec, which is more damage. So you could probably even take out one brew by the look of it and where you are now, and put another spiritual prayer potion in and just down the crap out of those during fights. It'll be useful at Ambassador as well. So definitely something to keep in mind. That prayer flick was unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, yeah, you can kill this one pretty quick as well. That one actually took longer to kill than the big blow. I wonder why. You're good with the Vuln bombs. Shame you don't have smoke cloud. But otherwise, yeah. So here, what you could do, because I assume you're not going to do it. Yeah. What you could do here is you don't have to come off of Taraket. You can just push him down with the shock ability or the demoralize ability, and then use chins on Taraket. So keep Taraket as your main focus, but use chins to kill off any skeletons and the portal at the same time. Nice and easy. You can also pile up like all the bloats and stuff together, but I don't like doing that, and I understand why you wouldn't want to do that. Like, you melt so much in Serenic armor, so you could do that. But yeah, so you're going to use your sigil now. I think this is the first time you've used it in this fight, so definitely use that at the beginning, and then you can use it again here as well, by the way. So you killed the bloat off, and then you probably can use it towards the end when he's got like his last 100k or something. So you can maybe get 3 in. It'll depend on your timing. But if you only get 2, then that's just because you're going quicker anyway. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, use that, man. It's so good. So much damage. But otherwise, there's not much else with Taraket. You're pretty much spot on. All I will suggest you do with this boss is, like I say at the beginning, don't push him to the side. Where's that? Don't push him to the side. Just phase him normally. Use your sigil to skip the portal, and then when he comes back, he'll spawn the portal. You kill the bloat off, and then you get back on him. The bloat spawns before he's attackable, by the way. So like when he flies off, he's still got to fly back. You could kill that first bloat pretty much by the time he's back to being attackable. Kill the portal off, and then you can phase him again, and then you can use the sigil to kill this big mother hugger off very, very quickly, because you've already used it to phase, but it'll be back and you can use it again. That's what I'd suggest for Taraket. I think otherwise you're fine. There's not really anything to talk about. So let's go to the Ambassador. Hopefully that helped. Hope that helps someone else as well on like the way that you could do this. And like I said, this isn't going to be the absolute optimal best thing that you can do all the time. It's just how I used to do it, and ways that I'm pretty sure would probably improve it for you as well. So give that a try, and then let me know later on Discord if it helps, man, because I'm pretty sure it will, a little bit at least. Anyway, Ambassador time. Okay, so this time we are taking a look at the Ambassador. It's the same thing as before in the way of his interface and stuff. Everything's fine. He could probably change his selfish for blue blubbers, but I'll check that later on anyway. And also, there's not really much else to say than what we already said. He's not got smoke cloud, which he definitely should have. He is using Hydrix bolts, which is good to see. I don't think he does a bolt switch in Taraket, but if you can switch them now, then that's fine. And I'm pretty sure that we could probably make this pretty quick. We'll see what we can do. But I know that you don't use your ECB here. You definitely want to use your ECB here. Is all I can really say. I know you use it on the spinners, but if you can get used to the prayer flicks here, then that's going to be huge for you, and it's going to make a massive difference. And there's no point in like waiting until I'm more comfortable in the actual boss fight itself. ECB is going to make the boss fight way more comfortable for you itself, because you're going to be doing a lot more damage. You won't struggle to get to the phasing times and stuff, and you'll probably skip a couple of the mechanics like the smokes and stuff, and a couple of the portals and whatnot. But the Ambassador's like animation's a bit weird, right? And that's the confusing thing. So as you see, the smoke comes down, and you think it's going to hit now, but it doesn't. And there's like a little delay, and then there's a smoke puff afterwards, and it hits after that little puff of smoke. So you want to wait for that, and I've already sort of explained this to you, and I think you do know, but basically you wait until you see that little puff of smoke around your character, and then you'd pray a flick back to protect from range. So it is getting used to that, and you kind of just want to stop paying attention to the actual animation, because the animation doesn't really do anything. Like, as you can see there, that smoke's coming, look, and it's doing nothing. Like, that smoke does nothing. This last one here, it's nothing. Watch, ready? And nothing happens, because the animation's already hit. So it's a really weird thing, and it is something you'll get used to. But yeah, so that'd be absolutely huge if you could do that to begin with. As for these, you use target cycling now, right? But I don't think you use it for this. So as this comes out, you can target cycle this where it's here, right? And you can put both your bleeds on there. If you have an ECB spec active already, you could put bleeds on this, and that would be like almost dead for when you come back around, meaning you could use your natural instinct on that pretty comfortably, and it'll save you some time. So you could put both bleeds on this with your ECB spec and then start on the next one, and you wouldn't have any problems with that. So you just threw an ability. I don't know if you see that, but if you threw an ability at the boss again straight after that because of the targeting. So watch what happens. You'll be stood here, you go for that, you threw another ability at that. I don't know what ability it was, but you threw something, and you don't want to do that. You want to target cycle as quick as you can as soon as those appear, and you can definitely move through quickly. You get through these so fast, so it would definitely be worth it if you put the bleed on these and let the ECB spec take it down a little bit, and then you can get around the natural instinct at the end, and you'll be good. So there's not much point in checking these. I think you're okay. Do you natural instinct? No, you could do though, and if you put the bleed on that first, you would have had way more time now to rebuild and get your death swiftness back up, all that sort of good stuff. But you want a death swiftness like right away, which you do. Good. I assume you've used adrenaline potion at the beginning. You drink a couple of the prayer renewals, which you could definitely be drinking more of through the fight, the spiritual prayer potions, just to help boost your Ripper Demon. So far, I can see that you've not drunk too many of those, but that's okay. The smoke here, I think you deal with this properly, right? So if you just let it drop to the floor, take a tick of damage, and then move away, you don't drag it across. Yeah, perfect. So you did that pretty much spot on. So that's good. Here, as soon as these spawn, I would swap to your Onyx Bolts. So you've got Onyx Bolts in your inventory. I would put these on here because that way you don't go through a lot of food. Like watch, you've used 2 pieces of food so far. Watch how much food you use by the end of this. Let's have a look. Okay, let me fast forward through a little bit, keeping an eye on other stuff. I wouldn't have Death Swifted there. So you've just dropped a Death Swiftness here. I would have saved this for phasing. You're going to phase at 400k. But look how much food you've used, by the way. Just while you're trying to get to 400k. You're getting absolutely slaughtered because of these things here. If you'd use Onyx Bolts and maybe your Excalibur, because you can still use your Excalibur, you wouldn't have burnt through so much food, and your last phase would have been much easier to do. Also, that Death Swiftness is going to be really, really sad not to have for the last phase as well. But I will explain why when you get there, because it's going to be on cooldown still, right? Yeah. So Seiryu gets rid of the add-on things. You deal the magic bomb. That's fine. What you want to do here is, I think you just Reborn bombed, or he's got full on him anyway. Here, what I would have done is not use your Death Swiftness so close to 400k, and then once you've phased, you can go underneath him here, use Death Swiftness directly underneath him, and then you can stay in melee distance. So it looks like you're not going to go in. See the magic ball coming out now? You can dodge that by being in melee distance, because what he'll do is he will melee you instead. It doesn't hit as high as the magic hits, at least I don't think so, and you would just keep Protect from range on, and you would just tank the melee hits. But because your Death Swiftness is in the middle, you can stay in Death Swiftness the whole way around, as the way the hands work, because I think you know how they work, right? But maybe I can give you a little bit of extra tips with it. Basically, the way the hands work is the first hit is going to be random, but you see the little hands smack into the ground. You'll see it in a second from this one, like that. And then the smoke will come out of that pretty much straight away afterwards. Now, the way this works is the first one is completely random because everything's coming in like this. So you'll pick one. I think luckily you get one like over here, and it's actually pretty good. Yeah, spot on. So it could have been any of these. But basically, what you want to do is stay in melee distance, Death Swiftness underneath him, and then you can just rotate around him in melee distance. And then when the next hand smacks down, you'll see here, I think you let a few smokes go through. No, you move perfectly just for that one. But if you do end up missing a few, then he does heal for that. So what you want to do is you want to stay in melee distance, sorry, make sure your Death Swiftness is down, and then just do as much DP as you can. And then as soon as the next hand smacks, you just move one tile. And sometimes you'll get it where, like here, for example, if you were stood here, both of these hands you probably wouldn't need to move. You could just use your rapid fire and you'd be fine. So it'll just be staying in there, dealing with ranged hits and tanking one melee hit every now and again. But I mean, these magic hits still wreck through. Look at that 2.3k through prayer. That's what the melee hits hit anyway, I think, around about that. It's not much different. So just stay in melee distance, makes your life way easier. You missed a lot of healing there from those hands, and that's going to be huge. So every time they get to him, he's healing 2.5k. So like 2.5k, you need to block these smokes. So staying in melee distance makes it so much easier. Now I know I said that a million times, but there we go. So other than that, I don't think there's much else for me to say. You want to stay close. If you're running out of food like you are now, like there's so many of these heals that it's getting through, and that's huge, man. Like it's 2.5k every time. Like I know you're still doing more DPS, but 2.5k every time is a lot. So stay close and just make sure that you are using things like debilitate if you need to, because you might as well. And then if you had smoke cloud, if you were drinking like crazy on your Ripper Demon, you'll DPS through this a lot quicker, and it would make your life a lot easier. Like, well, oh hello, look at the white smokes. you gotta get those white smokes, man. You've used debilitate, you've used reflect, perfect. So that's good. And yeah, other than that, you're doing everything right. It's just making sure you just take advantage of standing in melee distance and watch your prayers. Practice on the ECB usage as well, and constantly drink these Rupidium potions, man. You'll get through so much quicker, and it will make your life way easier. So keybind the potions, keybind the spiritual prayer potions, and down those whenever you're using like rapid fire or something, or whenever you see the spec bars are not full, have a sip of that. And then otherwise, it's just getting used to that prayer flicking for your ECB, and I think you'll be fine other than that. Smoke cloud as well. Don't forget smoke cloud. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this one. Chax, I hope it does help. I know that I don't use range all that much, so there's a few things that I'm just sort of pulling from general stuff rather than specifically with range. If anyone else has any advice and stuff, feel free to drop it below. But heads up, any toxic stuff will always be removed from these videos because people are trying to like improve and stuff, right? And while you can throw toxic stuff at me, I don't really give a crap. I know that I still have stuff to learn on and stuff, but I'll only ever offer advice that I know is going to help rather than trying to think like, I don't know, I'm not amazing PvM, right? But if there's anything that I can help with, then I'm happy to do so. So if anyone else is interested in doing this, then send me a DM on Discord and then link me an unlisted YouTube video like this one, and then I can look through that. Just any boss that you know I'm comfortable with. So you guys watching, you probably know already that I'm pretty comfortable with most bosses except for things like the big group bosses like raids and AOD and all that sort of stuff, Virago. So feel free to send me anything other than that, and probably Zook and Solak as well. You probably want to keep those for somebody else, as I still need to learn a lot with those. And like I say, I don't want to give you advice on stuff that I'm not absolutely comfortable with. So other than that, feel free to send me anything, whether it's anything from God Wars 1 to God Wars 2 all the way up to Carapac hard mode and stuff like that. I am absolutely welcome for you guys to send that through. If this video did help you out, then let me know in the comments. I always like to hear whether things have worked, like been useful or not to some people. If it's helped out one person, then I'm happy with that. It is what it is. These videos don't do great views wise, but I enjoy making them. I know it helps people, so it just makes sense for me to still make them in that way. So it is what it is. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate it very much. Channel members, your names will be on screen right now. I really appreciate the extra support that you guys provide each and every day. So thank you again very much to you. If anyone else is interested in joining them, click the join button by the sub button. You get some perks, and of course you support the channel as well, and it's very much appreciated. Otherwise, thank you everybody else for watching too. I appreciate you all as well, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.